All right. Well, it's one past the hour. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome everybody to our exclusive partner-only enablement session on Arcserve UDP. It's great to see so many familiar faces in attendance logging in. So thank you for joining us today. My name is Will Worley, and I'm on the marketing team here at Arcserve, and I'll be your host today. I'm also accompanied by three of my fellow Arcsters. We have Vanish, who is on our product marketing team, and he will kick us off to provide us some exciting updates on UDP 9.0 that have really resonated with both our partners and our customers. We will follow that with Gary, who is part of our sales engineering organization, to run through a few sales scenarios that he's seeing in the marketplace that are helping our partners close profitable business for their organizations. And then finally, we're going to hear from Hunter, who's our Southwest territory account manager, on how he pitches Arcserve UDP to his clients. The objective of this session is really to help our partners identify potential opportunities with your prospects and customers and close mutually beneficial business together. Before I pass it over to Benish, please feel free to use the questions pane or chat directly to myself to ask any questions you may have. We will address those during the presentations in the chat, but if we do have time, we'll address a few of those questions live on the webinar. So with that, I will pass it over to Vanish.
Thanks, Will. Hello, dear partners. Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Vanish, and I'm part of Arcserve's product marketing team. So the next several minutes, like Will mentioned, we will take you through an interesting journey that offers to provide a glimpse of the rich set of functionalities Arcserve UDP 9 offers, followed by sales scenarios, and then followed by Hunter's portion that talks to the seller's pitch. Next slide, please. I think we go to, yeah, thank you. So before we begin discussing about Arcserve UDP 9, which is our latest release, let's quickly look at key differentiators that Arcserve UDP offers. For those of you who may know Arcserve UDP or very familiar with Arcserve UDP, please pardon this call out. The idea is to provide a glimpse to partners who are net new to Arcserve UDP and would like to know what this product is all about. Arcserve UDP is Arcserve's flagship product. It is an image-based backup solution that solves complex data protection challenges and delivers to the future needs of customers. So not just today's protection needs. Arcserve UDP offers several differentiators that are focused on availability, recoverability, and performance. That makes it ideal to support customers' complex data resilience strategies. Arcserve UDP powers Arcserve's unified data resilience platform, with strong attributes that support the solution offering, such as cyber secure data protection, guaranteed and reliable recovery assurance, availability-oriented platform, and others. So a key differentiator for Arcserve, and something most of you who know Arcserve and probably Arcserve UDP would agree with, is the delivery model flexibility. Arcserve UDP is available in a software-only option or as an integrated appliance. Customers can easily extend data protection using the hosted cloud offering. So a few features that make UDP stand out. The first and foremost is the ability for Arcserve UDP to safeguard backups from ransomware attacks using Sophos, a cybersecurity leader. Sophos InterceptX Advanced helps in stopping threats that were never seen before, using deep learning AI and other advanced technologies. Importantly, it helps block ransomware and rolls back impacted files, to a safe state. So this is a proactive response and is a strong first line of defense for backup data and is a critical differentiator for us. We offer a free copy of Sophos InterceptX Advanced for eligible purchase of UDP software. and Arcserve Appliances come with Sophos pre-installed. Another feature, Virtual Standby, offers a cost-effective cluster-like high availability for applications and data that is available for use like in a simple function, right? Eliminating the complexity of clusters. UDP's backups, or what we call recovery points, are always ready to boot as a virtual machine. The system automatically monitors the heartbeat of the source node, and the virtual machine takes over immediately as a source node when it recognizes that the source or the primary node has failed. Another great feature is Azure Recovery powers the platform with fully automated and non-disruptive DR testing that is secure and reliable assuring recovery. A noteworthy callout is the vast set of recovery options using which entire systems can be recovered, or you could support a granular, table level recovery, say Oracle database. So this offers a recovery oriented approach that distinguishes us in a crowded landscape. The ability to store backups on premises using Arcserve OneSafe has proven to be a big differentiator for us and well received in the customer base. A company's security posture as it pertains to its backup data is strengthened with Arcserve UDP's ability to offer full support to physical and logical air gapping techniques. Let's move to the next slide, Will. So in summary, this is why we think Arcserve UDP helps powering Arcserve's unified data resilience platform. The three pillars aptly characterize the needs expected from a data protection product. Prevent backups from being poisoned or corrupted by ransomware. Protect workloads across the protection estate, and offer a focused and efficient recovery-oriented platform. Let's go to the next slide, please. Great. So now we've seen UDP, what it offers, the differentiators. So time to look at UDP 9 and see what it brings to the table. The new cloud-based console is a useful addition as it offers customers a choice. They can now choose a cloud-based multi-tenant management plane or continue to use the on-premises private management console. Cloud Console is now available completely free of cost or free of charge to our customers with an active maintenance or subscription contract. Multi-tenancy, of course, comes with a strong advantage, allowing flexible management controls. Customers can now easily configure sub-organizations and manage them like different tenants. A major addition that is well connected probably with the Cloud Console management theme is the ability to send backups directly to a data store configured on a cloud object storage such as Amazon S3, Wasabi, or Google Cloud Storage. Given the importance of this addition, I guess we'll have a sales scenario that Gary's going to talk to, so I'll park that detail for now. Of course, moving over, there is support for enterprise applications that we've added, like Microsoft SQL and Oracle. We focused extensively to make the restore easy, with the right set of options and a reasonably improved user experience. Microsoft SQL has point-in-time functionality brought right within the user interface, and there are several improvements, additions, focused on restore. Oracle database, we now support PDB restores, pluggable databases restores, and the ability for customers to backup or protect Oracle DBs on Solaris. So we see a good completion in terms of operating systems. Windows and Linux, we supported them previously, beginning UDP 8.0 onwards, and now we've completed that with Unix, sort of a well-rounded coverage for the popular operating systems. Well, there are several enhancements focused on improving product experience and stability, such as backup success rate report, virtual standby support for Gen 2 VMs on Microsoft Azure. Manual jobs can be labeled as daily, weekly, or monthly. So it helps, with retention compliance. And of course, there is no release that is complete without support for the latest platforms, application databases. I invite you to take a look at the compatibility matrix that offers a clear detail on the latest platforms, applications we've supported. Go to the next slide. So UDP 9 can be managed by a cloud console or an on-premises private management console. Right now, there is a dependency on the choice of the management console based on which features are available for use. So let's pick a couple of scenarios, right? So we can see which console works best. So the first scenario, the customer wants a management plane for their organization that has multiple departments and wants to manage it like how an MSP manages its tenants. The customer's environment is chiefly a mix of Windows and Linux workloads, and they're using VMware or say Hyper-V. Good. So Cloud Console is a great fit, it's a good fit for this customer, and you would recommend them to consume the product via the universal licensing. Now there's another scenario. Customer has huge Oracle database deployments. They have one or more Nutanix HVs besides their VMware and Hyper-V, or wish to use the copy to tape functionality. Then they should choose the on-premises private management console. Customers can use the cloud console or the on-premises management console, not both. So you can find more details in the product documentation or connect with an Arcserve representative, and we will be more than happy to provide you with the details you need. Let's go to the next slide, please. So I'd like to quickly touch on the latest release, Arcserve UDP 9.1. We're thrilled to release this. This went out, this was generally available 26th of June, 2023, last month. Brings in quite a lot of critical additions that includes fixes for some security issues. We'll cover that in a bit. I think it's important, so I'd like to emphasize the need there. So let's look at it. Azure Recovery in Cloud Console, we looked at Azure Recovery and the need, how a fully automated, non-disruptive approach ensures that data is reliable, and when you recover it, you need getting data back. You're getting good data back. You're not just continuing to back up your data, right? You're also checking to make sure it is good for recovery, and that is now available from within the Cloud Console. There is support for multiple databases in an Oracle rack environment specific to Linux and Unix. And of course, we've made additions like support for Nutanix and other platforms, and there are several product updates and fixes, like I said, in critical areas of the product. So let's go to the next slide. Will. So by no means I'd like to read through the slide. I apologize for making this a little text heavy, but I want to emphasize that as partners, we request you to ask your customers to upgrade to the latest version of Arcserve UDP. Supposing they're on Arcserve UDP 9, please ask them to upgrade to Arcserve UDP 9. And that is because of the issue that we've been made aware of, a critical security vulnerability. Credits to the folks you see on the screen there for responsibly disclosing this vulnerability to us. We've also created patches for those versions in support due to some reason where they cannot upgrade immediately to say UDP 9.1, so they could patch those environments and stay secure. So we strongly recommend and encourage our customers to upgrade to the latest, greatest version, or to make sure that their instances are patched. In addition, again, you'd find more details in a KB article, and I'm sure Will has added that in the chat window. Please feel free to look at it after the session. Contains more information. So in addition to this, there was also another issue that the researchers disclosed, which is where a malicious actor, with direct access to the system, which has UDP installed, can extract the login credentials of Arcserve UDP instance and backend SQL Express instance. Let's go to the next slide, please. So we have created a KB article, that provides stepwise detail on how someone can, sort of the default, how they can change the default SQL Express password. Again, Arcserve recommends that you choose your own password. There is a KB article, again, that should be in the chat. Please take a look and make sure that you review that detail carefully, right? And even if you probably do not get the details in the chat, I'm pretty sure most of you should have received a communication from us. If you have not and you'd like to know more, please feel free to contact Arcserve's technical support for further information. This is an important information, and we'd like to make sure that you encourage your customers to take corrective actions at the earliest. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, quick discussion on the positioning. So mid-market is a sweet spot, although we have customers in the enterprise and the SMB space. We call mid-market the sweet spot because various characteristics and needs expressed by customers in this segment have been satisfactorily met. So in the deal winners, we've already talked about ransomware resilience. We talked about the proactive response that comes from Sophos, and then there is full support for physical and logical air gapping. Logical air gapping in the form of immutable digital vault on premises via OneSafe, and then there are others that Gary will touch. So I'll leave it for I don't want to steal the thunder there. And also we talked about, we probably didn't talk about deep data reduction. That's a great differentiator for us. Global source side dedupe has provided a lot of savings for our customers by reducing the amount of data stored. The amount of data transferred over the wire has been reduced, and there are other benefits to it. And clearly that has been a deal winner for us, and is an excellent differentiator. The one thing that you most probably have not seen and we've heard is legacy application platform support. For some customers, it takes a little time to move away from an old platform because change management and other practices do not allow quick transitions. By offering support, by offering a reasonable amount of support for such environments, while at the same time supporting newer platforms, makes Arcserve a huge differentiator. In that way, we allow the customers the time they need for the change management to happen, so they can upgrade, shift to a different platform, or move to a different application, while at the same time protect the legacy systems as well as the new ones. We talked about the multiple delivery models. Integrated appliance continue to be a key differentiator for us, as well as the ability to support varied CapEx and OpEx models. No big differences from a persona perspective. We continue to see the same characteristics, and we've made sure we've equipped our partners and sales members with the relevant material so they can provide the personas so they can provide the personas with exactly what they need. So if it's a CXO, they provide, say, a corporate view of Arcserve, etc., versus a more specific detail if it's another persona. So I think that's the end of my section. I'll hand this over to Gary. Thank you.
Thank you, Manish. Gary?
Awesome, guys. Thank you, Manish. I'll be going through some sales scenarios with you folks. The first scenario is targeting your prospective customers on UDP. UDP offers a lot of solutions and features, so it's good to know what the product provides for your customers. You can also look at these as possible pain points that your customers may have and an opportunity to sell UDP as well. Ransomware, not surprised, that's on everyone's mind to protect their environment and to be resilient. UDP, as heard, offers that capability out of the box, whether it's software or hardware. We can provide a proactive response with Sophos integration, as well as we integrate with our immutable appliance OneSafe. And UDP has features like multi-factor authentication, encryption as well to provide what customers need to protect them from ransomware. Customers are also looking for reduced storage utilization in their environment. Our product with the deduplication, I've seen up to 60–80% reduction of data and storage, and so customers can do more with their environment with this data reduction. Deduplication, which is source and globally based. We also have infinite incrementals with the UDP software, meaning that we only need to do one full backup. Other products, you have to do full backups with the retention cycle. We have sort of a way to do infinite incrementals with this technology, so one full is only required. Also, compression allows us to reduce what's out there. So customers like the fact that we can reduce the overhead of their storage. Scale out is another term that you'll hear, meaning that we can expand our appliances without having to replace it or adding extra expansions. We can add disks or other appliances in a ring without one safe device. And so we can expand storage on the fly with these appliances. And they also provide the immutability, which is key as well. Continuing support is where we can do not only backup with UDP, but DR as a service. This allows us to spin up virtual machines from the backup, so we could be proactive or reactive in the sense of having a way to do a push button failover in case of emergency. So sort of a high availability of what you see out there to provide push button failover. We could provide that as well with UDP at no cost. Testing is a good aspect that we provide with UDP as well. A non-destructive backup testing. We can automate testing of all the backups that we take. So the idea is we could be proactive and schedule testing of all the data and making sure that they're recovered. So customers are not surprised when they go to recover that they can't access the data. We could be proactive and warn them of any backup failures with this technology. So it's good to understand your customers and what they have and any pain points. And if any of these resound, definitely UDP is a solution that you could implement. There are other use cases that I see, and it comes with licensing. We provide probably the best flexibility with licensing with UDP, whether it's socket-based, workstation edition, capacity-based, whatever the customer environment, we can fit a license that they need. Licensing also is purchased on a perpetual basis, which means they own the license. We highly recommend they renew the maintenance, of course, with the perpetual license. But we also offer other packages, subscription licenses, and we have different model of licenses depending on what feature they would like within the solution. We have a standard, advanced, and premium editions of our licenses, again, catering to what customers want out of their product. And also, when selling the product, we have different ways of integrating into the customer's environment, whether it's CapEx, OpEx. We have software, we have appliances, we have SaaS subscriptions, and we have our own cloud here at Arcserve as well. Next slide, please. Next scenario is if you have customers that have appliances and there are going to capacity, they're looking to add more capacity, or they're looking for new appliances with greater capacity needs, or if they have older Arcserve appliances, we have our new 9000 series available. Our 9000 series come with UDP integrated. They come with Sophos. These new appliances add newer capabilities, new capacity. They also can be scale out, which means you could add disks into them in the field to expand the capacity. There's no rip and replace needed with these appliances if customers need to add more capacity to these units. These appliances also, you can provide disaster recovery on them. So the virtual standby instant VM we talked about earlier can be done on these appliances. So customers do not have to use any hypervisors or their own hardware. Everything can be run on these appliances, from backup to disaster recovery to DR testing. These appliances are easy to install. Less than 15 minutes, they can have these up and running acknowledging their environments, doing backups, etc. We also have support available in maintenance, gold or platinum, depending on if you want next business day, or as you can see, we also have on-site where you can get service in less than 4 hours. Next slide, please. Scenario 3, this is where we send data off-site. So we always recommend 3 copies of your data, the primary, the backup, and 1 hopefully off-site. This is, again, to avoid a single point of failure. You don't want to put everything in one basket. So we have a capability to use cloud services with our product. Customers can choose many different services out there like Amazon, Google, Wasabi. With UDP 9, with the Cloud Console, we can now create data destinations with these objects. We can now back up directly to these objects, or you could back up primary and replicate to them as secondary. It's totally up to you. The idea of this is to have sort of a backup of service to have this data offsite in case of emergency. Some of these features also offer DR as a service where you could spin up in the cloud as well. So the idea here is to have another location to have a backup or DR service in case of emergency. So you can fail over in the cloud, work, and have no downtime while you get your production online. We also have application support with these as well, whether it's SQL, Oracle, whatever type of data. We can, again, have that offsite connection available if you need it. Next slide, please. Air gapping is another term that you'll hear. This is commonly used when customers want to separate their backups from the primary. Air gap can be either logical or physical. Logical, as previous, is typically with cloud vendor. So there is a connection with the service logically, whereas with tape drives, since it's physically separated, this is how we can physically air gap customers' data. Using tape without disk-to-disk, we can archive data and keep that copy on tape whenever they need. So UDP integrates with our Arcserve backup solution for that capability to provide that physical tape backup. Arcserve backup's been around for decades. It provides probably the most support of any product for tape, worm, and other network attached devices. So this is a great offering that Arcserve still sells, especially if customers want to go direct to tape. Arcserve backup is still available, but it's used with UDP if they want to do their disk to tape. Arcserve backup also has a lot of capabilities as well, and support for applications. So depending on the customer's environment, the 2 solutions work together to provide a disk to tape solution. Next slide, please. Renewals, as we talked about earlier, when you buy perpetual or any type of solutions, typically maintenance is sold also. Maintenance can be, idea of maintenance to provide support, upgrades. And so definitely scenario 4 is to see if customers have expired maintenance and try to get them on them. Having maintenance, as you can see, gives you access to free upgrades. So dot releases like our 9.0. Also gives customers full releases as well, 9.1, and also provides free copy and maintenance for our Sophos InterceptX, which is what we provide for our proactive ransomware protection. As well, maintenance, if they don't have it, they can now come back on maintenance and get access to support. So customers that fall off maintenance, they will now have access to support. So it's good to have them get on maintenance. So if they have any issues, they can get the best in service with our tech support staff. And with every new version and upgrades, we have new support. So for example, 2022's now support with the new version, Windows 11. So customers that are adding new either tape devices, a new operating system, it's good to have maintenance so that you can have support with them and they don't lapse. As well as you get free upgrades, free of charge upgrades as well via support at any time. Just give them a call, they'll upgrade the product as long as the maintenance is available. We also have special support capabilities from US-based support, professional services, and Singaporean contact if you need it as well. These are optional. Next slide, please. As I mentioned earlier, our appliances also have maintenance, either on-site or next day. So highly recommended that you have support for these devices in case something happens. 4 hours, you can get service on whatever the case may be. New to Arcserve, we now have a new licensing portal. In the past, it was kind of hard to know what licensing you own and keep track of them. Now we made it easy. So customers coming back on maintenance can now manage their licensing a lot easier through our licensing portal. They can also generate and download keys easily as well than ever before. Another great thing that we also offer is be able to backdate their renewals if it's 3 years, up to 90 days. So it gives customers a lot of time and our partners as well to have the customers look to see what they have and get us involved so they can get back on track. For customers that have our legacy products, we also offer cross grades to bring them into the new solution, Arcserve UDP. So Arcserve backup customers that are going direct to tape, they like the more modern solution, disc to tape. We do offer cross grades for them as well. So customers that have lapsed, definitely try to bring them on back to support so they get enhanced service as they need. Next slide, please. So the last scenario is sort of putting everything together. Again, Arcserve UDP. Next slide, please. Arcserve UDP, whether it's our software or our hardware-based solution, we provide all-in-one, one vendor, provide everything from the resiliency with ransomware, the immutability, be able to use cloud service, or to air-gapped. We provide everything the customers need with one pane of glass. UDP gives you that flexibility, and with Sophos as that first layer of protection, gives you that ransomware resiliency. The AI learning that Sophos provides proactively can stop and catch and reverse ransomware. And since the backup target is always going to be the first thing that these threats look at, it's good to have these two used together. UDP, as you can see, also can be implemented, whether it's software or hardware. So both provide the powerful data protection that customers are looking for today. Air gapping is also something to look at and definitely think about when implementing and talk to your customers. Having that copy off-site, someplace safe, or on-premise without one safe, which either is a good case. So this logical air gap we could do without one safe on-premise is beneficial because we don't have to go out to the cloud to do immutable. But those customers that need immutable in the cloud, that's also available. We can integrate with any cloud that's out there to provide that archiving offsite and object lock, whether it's on-site or in the cloud. Again, we provide this air gapping immutable capability with the solution. And lastly, tape. Tape provides, tape is still out there. It's a very economic way locally, again, to keep that separation from your on-premise data. And tape provides, worm capability and mutability as well. So still in use, and Arcserve and the use of Arcserve backup makes customers have the capability included at no cost. So that's it for the 5 different scenarios. Next is Hunter to provide a more sales pitch for you guys.
Thank you, Gary. Hello, folks. My name is Hunter. I'm the territory manager who covers the TOLA and Southwest regions for Arcserve's net new business. Today, I'll be briefing you briefly on our seller's pitch and how to sell our UDP solutions to your customers, utilizing and building off of a lot of the information we learned today from Vanish and Gary. Next slide, please. So Arcserve UDP secured by Sophos is our unified data protection solution integrated with Sophos. We're the only business continuity vendor to deliver a proactive ransomware prevention solution, combining proven data protection and industry best cybersecurity. For partners working with mid-market or enterprise customers, UDP provides an excellent solution to prevent and recover from ransomware attacks by leveraging UDP and protecting those critical data backup infrastructures with Sophos InterceptX. UDP is our recovery-oriented platform that Vanish and Gary went into. Again, it can protect, prevent, secure, and recover your client's critical data. That's the main need we're going to meet for them. As you can see here, we're going to start off with diving into our unified console. We have one unified solution covering multiple environments. We have a single management console capability, or one pane of glass. A lot of our customers in our space are looking for this and have it as a need as the years go by. This is a feature that is only growing in terms of needs for our end users. So a single pane of glass and single management console capability keeps everything streamlined. We do have a massive support matrix for your customers. We can cover virtually any environment. As you can see on the PowerPoint here, the list of environments is depicted on the left. This makes it easier to sell or mold the solution to your customers' specific needs. You know, and Gary did mention deduplication and compression. That is a prominent feature that our customers are looking for. Arcserve does it great with our global source side deduplication, as well as our compression. This allows our customers to maintain a smaller footprint, and a smaller footprint can help keep data backup project costs low in terms of hardware, drives, and also it keeps backups fast and consolidates workloads. This streamlines the business continuity process, as your customers are more than often than not going to be looking for a faster backup and disaster recovery environment that UDP can bring. Our partnership with Sophos, Gary did go into that quite heavily. I won't go into it too much here, but it is a very strong selling tool. Our partner with Sophos utilizes the Sophos InterceptX Advanced for Server, the AI Smart Mind technology. This protects the recovery point server and management console of the customers. When we're thinking of a malicious attacker, more and more, they're targeting the RPS first. This is so they can get the backups locked down and have full control and work their way up from there. So with that being said, Sophos has a proven record and gives a strong line of defense against any attacks. You know, speaking after the attack, recover and restore process, UDP delivers peace of mind with our orchestrated ransomware recovery. Our customers are able to recover reliably and quickly from their protected machines. Depending on their RTO and RPO, we do offer backup as a service and disaster recovery as a service on-prem and in the cloud. This will allow your customers to easily restore production instances that have been covered with UDP. You know, when we're pitching this to the customers, I tend to use, and my team tends to use, the International Data Corporation's 3211 strategy. It used to be the 321 strategy. Gary did go over that briefly, meaning you have 3 copies of your data on 2 different devices, one off-site and one immutable. This is a standard for backup security at this point, and UDP delivers multiple ways to tackle this objective. We offer cloud hybrid, vendor-agnostic S3 storage, incremental backups, replication to immutable storage, and tape support. They could go to the cloud. They can go on-prem. Say your customer is a county, and the county, the mayor there doesn't want anyone going to the cloud. We have on-prem options for your customers. So there's multiple ways that we really can service. We can be flexible is the end of the day messaging. You know, and at the end of the day, we also are one hand to shake. Even if they do have a problem with Sophos, the first ticket will always be created with Arcserve, which gives customers a peace of mind that they don't have to call 4 vendors and get convoluted, wires crossed and mixed up, and ultimately frustrated. With Arcserve, you get one hand to shake, one throat to choke between us. However your customer says it, we can absolutely take care of you. Next slide, please. So I'm not going to go too deep into here, as you guys can read, but we have orchestrated recovery, cloud integration, entire infrastructure support, as seen in the last slide, and scalable management. There's a granular breakdown on the right here, but the main points for orchestrated recovery is going to be that bare metal recovery, instant virtual machine, and assured recovery, allowing your customers to test their backups to make sure that they are verified in a case of a true disaster. So they can show their management, backups work, cloud integration, pretty self-explanatory. We do have 2 consoles with our UDP that Gary and Vanish did touch on. We are able to do incremental backups to Wasabi, S3 buckets, Azure, AWS, you name it. We can cover the entire infrastructure, physical, Windows and Linux, doesn't matter to us. We do have AES and SSL encryption in flight and at rest respectively. We do have as well that global at source deduplication, which does differentiate us from a couple of vendors here. And talk about scalable management. Our unified management console really does allow for a central location, as we spoke about before, for your customers to manage their backups from. Next slide, please. How to sell Unified Data Protection UDP. We're going to talk a little bit about our target market, target industry, and we'll reiterate some of those licensing options that Gary spoke about before. So our target market from my Southwest and South Central team, this is where I'm pulling my data, but also applies to the broader Arcserve industry, is we have a general SMB focus. That mid-market is where we are finding our bread and butter. We are consistently on the Gartner Magic Quadrant. That is a good tool to use for any prospects who haven't heard of us before. We do have large enterprise capabilities. Don't get me wrong, we still service top 10, top 5 Fortune companies for the United States. We can sell our scale out capabilities with our appliances, as Gary touched before. We have scale out capabilities in the cloud for our cloud hybrid solution as well. So if your customers really are growing too fast, we can keep up with them. It is not a problem. Most of our products are scale out, even outside of a unified data protection sphere for Arcserve. Regarding industries, the top 5 industries we sell to is going to be government, finance, banking, healthcare, and manufacturing. Those are our top 5 strongest customers. A lot of those folks have been customers of ours, or we've been in that vertical for decades. But at the end of the day, we service almost every industry with a backup need. We're an international top 5 company who services even the smallest folks all the way to the top folks. For our enterprise customers, we do have solutions that can meet their needs, even to our small mom and pop dentist shops. So with that being said, we make it easy to sell for our partners. Gary already touched on it. I won't go too deep, but you're going to have that universal subscription licensing, the instance-based for those Linux or Windows machines, socket-based per populated CPU socket, capacity-based. This is more of a per front-end terabyte with a maintenance contract on the side, as well as our Appliance 9000 series. We do have the Arcserve UDP licensing guide breakdown that I won't include here just for time's sake, but on the bottom right of this slide, there's a Google excerpt you may input into Google, or there is a direct link that you may use to find this information. So with all that being said, that concludes our presentation for today, and I believe you'll be moving into questions and answers.
Thank you, team. I appreciate it. So we wanted to try and wrap this up at 15 before the hour, but I did receive a couple of private chats that I'd like to ask, and I think they're going to be for Vanish. So one of them is touching on, does Arcserve UDP offer a method to ensure backups are reliable? I think you touched on it, but maybe you could elaborate on that, Vanish.
Certainly will. So assured recovery, as we call it, powers this platform. I would even say that it leads the recovery-oriented platform approach that we have. So with assured recovery, customers get a fully automated and non-disruptive disaster recovery testing, that is secure and reliable, that assures recovery. There is no business downtime during the test phase and zero impact to production units with completely off-roaded testing and others. So if you think of it, most times we end up with a scenario where when recovery is not always the order of the day, and it comes at a point when you really need your data back, at that time you cannot, you will run into, it could cause serious issues if you do not find a copy that from which you could recover. So those circumstances can be completely avoided. That is why we say this offers 100% peace of mind. And like I said, this is fully automated. That's a huge advantage. This ensures that data is reliable and you could recover from a backup copy.
Thank you, Venetia. Now, I'll ask one more, and then just for the rest of the questions, we'll make sure that the appropriate territory account manager or sales engineer reaches out to you. But we had another question just to verify on the cloud console, on the pricing on that. Is there any additional cost associated with that?
No.
Thank you for asking. No charge here. Thanks, Gary. Yes, there's no charge for the cloud console. Comes absolutely free of charge. Of course, the customer has to be under active maintenance, should have an active maintenance contract or an active subscription to leverage this. But this is absolutely free of cost. There's no charge separately for cloud console. It's another option that is being added as part of Arcserve UDP 9. And it's 100% cloud-based management plane.
Awesome. Yep, another arrow in the quiver for our partners. So I just want to close out and thank everybody for attending, all of our partners attending today. Again, it's great to see a lot of familiar faces on this call. As far as next steps, in the next day or so, all of you will receive a recording of this presentation along with some helpful links and also abilities to maybe contact your territory account manager, sales engineer for maybe very specific questions you might have, POCs, maybe you would like a demo of the solution. So you'll receive that from the marketing team here, like I said, in the next day or so. But with that, I want to give you back about 12 minutes of your time. Again, thank you for attending and appreciate your business. Thank you.